Okay. Hey y'all, how you doing? It's Monday night, and we've got a little catch up here to do on the Aquarian planets. So I thought I would just kind of do an overall about all these planets changing into the sign Aquarius, because it's really, I mean, it's kind of disrupting the atmosphere, and if you're not, aware of it, it can, there can be a lot of disruptions in electrical things, especially, and all kinds of stuff comes along with it. Why? Because Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, and Uranus rules electricity. Okay, and Uranus rules a lot of other things, like technology and brotherhood, humanity, freedom, really anything to do with freedom, new and different progressive ideas, group settings, groups coming together. So it's such a friendly, it's a friendly planet, or a sign, Aquarius. But Uranus, which rules it, is a very chaotic planet. It can be, depending on what it's mixed with, okay? So, I mean, when I'm saying that, I'm saying what planet is conjuncting Uranus, or opposing it, or whatever, aspecting it, okay? So what we have right now is the sun just entered Aquarius. It was at 29:55 Capricorn earlier today, so it's just entered Aquarius at 0 degrees. So yay, we're ushering in this Aquarian energy, and it's not going to go back. We've had some entrances of the Aquarian energy, but then it went back and retrograded into Capricorn, but finally we're like, bye-bye Capricorn. Bye-bye old ways, and, all rules and just all that stuff. So not that it won't be there, but, there's going to be such a push and such a wave of desire coming from the collective for things to be new ways. No, we don't like that. We want this. We're going to push. We're going to change. We're going to take lots of action. I mean, we're just starting out, so it's going to take the ball rolling. We got to get a little rhythm going with it, and right now it's just like people are coming together and they're forming their plans, and partnerships are being done, and people are moving and coming and going, and it's like a play that play is over, the Capricorn, and now a new one. So there's, stage setting and the lighting, and we've got to change. Everybody's got to get their costumes and read their lines and all that stuff. That's how I look at it, because that's how I look at everything. Everything in life is a big fun, like a play or a drama or something. I come from a family of in the film industry, so anyways, so that's what's going on. We're all like, oh, it's Aquarius time, so oof, I got to change this and that, and it's time to find our right place and all that stuff. But in the meantime, because it's such a, like, literally an electric energy, that it can just, like, it can cause all kinds of, like, little glitches. Matter of fact, we experienced that last night on a live stream that I was part of, and it was like, we're just going along and everything was great, and then boom, all this stuff started glitching. And because, I mean, the person speaking was like so charged up, and he has such a dynamic, like, presence and everything, that it's just like everything just kind of glitched. And I was thinking later, oh wow, I bet that was all that Aquarian energy just kind of like whoosh coming through him. But anyway, so that's how it can happen, And the other thing that Aquarius represents, and it's also, it's a, like, it's how Uranus works, okay, too. So they're both Uranus rules Aquarius. It's the ruling planet of Aquarius. But anyways, Uranus is known for sudden events. And they can be great sudden events or not so great, like accidents. Boom, accidents can happen because you're so jacked up and so excited or whatever. The energy gets literally electric because Uranus rules electricity. Okay, so there's just this electricity in the air and electricity in chemistry and between people, and so there can be sudden boom, people fall in love, people breaking up, people lots of things with people too, because Venus is in Aquarius, and Pluto is in Aquarius. So that tells you so much about how serious we are, how fucking serious we are about changing the world. With Pluto in Aquarius, it's like if you had a little gang of people, and then all of a sudden you have like this mob boss come in. Pluto's the mob boss, and the mob boss makes shit happen, right? Because they got a big thing of money and they're, it's like, wow, we got power on our side. That's how it is. We have Pluto in Aquarius. So it's, even though the other personal planets are going to come and go and they'll be in Aquarius and then they'll change to other planets, Pluto isn't. It's going to be there for years and years and years. So we're in that Aquarian age. And right now we have the support of these other personal planets, and the use of those planets being in it is to kind of accelerate all this sudden changes. Okay, and that's another thing. Uranus always it represents change for sure. Like in doing readings for forever, how I've been doing personal readings for people, I would always look, if their relationship was breaking up or something, you would always see Uranus on their 7th house of marriage. They're going to get divorced, they're going to break up, or whatever. It's Uranus can cause sudden breakups. It also can cause sudden fall in love or whatever, love at first sight. So it's very quick and fast. So we'll have right now these personal planets, and it's going to cause sudden things to happen, people to make quick decisions, and which may seem impulsive and stuff, but we're never going to do it if we have to be impulsive. We have to have some Uranus to get everybody going, right? And so that's what this is right now, and you're going to really feel it starting like now. Like the sun is entered into Aquarius, so we're going to have a whole month of the sun being there, and then we have Venus and we have Pluto, and right now we actually have the moon in it too, and then Mercury will go in it, and so we're going to get a big dose of it right now, and it's going to kind of just set off. It's like a firecrackers setting off ideas, setting off conversations, setting off just changes, setting up people writing, all ideas coming. I see these visions of people sitting together, like whatever, groups of people maybe sitting out camping, or they're at home or whatever, and they're coming up with ideas. They have great ideas. There's so many great ideas, and there's so much opportunity to change this world right now. Everybody has a chance. Everybody can have an idea or like someone else's idea and get in on it. Everybody has a chance, because everything's up for change, whether it's political or in the way our architecture, or in teaching, every area of life, travel, it's all going to change, okay, rapidly, because of course everything's going to change. It's always changing, but what I'm talking about is a very rapid change to a big upgrade into a higher tech, smarter thinking. There's a lot of outdated structures and outdated programs and things that it's like, what? That's dumb. That doesn't make sense. That's not, you're not getting the most out of that, or you're not, it's not the most efficient way or whatever. So all these great, young people coming up with their, their mind, their creative minds, and not just young people, anybody, everybody, everybody has a chance for sure. So, throw your ideas in the hat and just start thinking, forward thinking, okay? And not to be lectury about your thinking, but, affirmative thinking, because by now, surely everyone knows, we know that what we say has a big bearing on what happens in our life and what we think, right? And you have to get a hold of it, you have to, when you get up and you think, oh God, here I go, and you don't ever lift your thoughts up, then it's going to be more of a habit the next day and the next day and the next day. So we've got to lift those up, like, okay, I'm going to look around and this is what I have. Bring in the light, ask God for help, notice the things that you do have. And I think people are really great right now about being grateful. I see so many people that are grateful for their lives and for everything they have, because we're seeing the horrors that others are going through, right, on the planet. Their lives just ripped right out, and so it hasn't happened to us yet, and it could happen, but we're grateful. I'm grateful every day. I have a home and I have, water and food and a shower and all that. So everything we have, there's something to be grateful for, and that gets the ball rolling. If you do it in the morning, you got to do it when you first get up, okay? Because if you get up and you start the day with any negativity, with, oh God, blah, blah, bitching and pissing and or moaning or whatever they say about everything, and trust me, I've done it many times, but it's like that sets the tone for the day, So if somebody in my life personally, if somebody comes by, well, I have roommate and stuff like that, but if that person disturbs me or tells me something negative, I start my whole day over. It's like, no, I don't want to hear anything. I want to start my whole day over and start it positive, if it's early in the morning. So really, I don't talk to anybody early in the morning, because I start my day speaking with God, listening to God, and getting my assignment, really, getting my assignment for the day. What am I doing today, and maybe it's like taking care of myself in some way. Maybe I need to just do some of the things that I want to go do, or some beauty things, or some self-care stuff, or whatever. Then that's what I do, if that's what I'm getting, or there can be some hard work ahead for the day, whatever. But if you start your day looking upward or raising your thoughts upward, you'll be taken care of all day long. You won't have to go up and down and up and down on these emotional roller coasters, okay? And trust me, anyone that knows me knows I've ridden a lot of emotional roller coasters, so I'm not perfect at it either. I have my meltdowns. But you're far better off if you make that contact early in the morning, from my experience anyways. So I don't know where I got off on that tangent, but I just feel I feel like I want to make sure everybody knows how to handle this energy, this Uranus energy, this Aquarius energy, this just really kind of exciting. And those of us, like, I have Uranus on my ascendant, and other light workers or healers like myself, who our systems are already like way pumped up, right? And it can be even harder and worse and more trying for those that are really sensitive to energies. You're gonna, really need to work with it and make sure you're keeping your nervous system at neutral. You've got to stop and breathe, got to breathe, and drink water, and, just do whatever you need to do. So, just some little advice that we all need to know about these energies coming in. You may feel it. You may feel it one day more than the other. But when you feel it, you don't have to, think, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Or why am I getting all these crazy thoughts? Or I feel like I'm coming out of my skin, or whatever. You acknowledge all of it and recognize it. But also know it's the energies coming in. It's these, you're adjusting and you're feeling this new, lighter Aquarian energy that's coming in. We're letting go of the old, depressing and negative Capricorn energies that have been inundating us for the last, for years, okay? For a long time. And so, again, we're in the in-between kind of right now, in-between world. So, everybody doesn't feel like, oh, yeah, I'm so excited about life. No, it's like, there's so much to do, it's overwhelming. How do I make these changes in my life? What am I going to do? And, and it's scary. And how am I going to have a new life? And is it going to work for me? And on and on and on and on. So there's a lot of, there's a lot to adjust to and transition over into right now. But just acknowledge the energies, that they're electric. Maybe I sometimes enjoy it. Like I could feel kind of it's like, whew, wow. There's this waves of like this light coming through me, that's just, it's sparkly kind of, sparkly light coming through. And I can really feel, I feel the hope, I feel the I like a rainbow. I feel the end of the rainbow over there. I can see it, I feel the restoration of everything, the restoration of our hearts, of our planet, of the animals, of the children, okay? There's no better feeling than to think we're going to heal, okay? We're all going to heal. And we're going to take care of those little babies, those children, and those animals, and our parents or grandparents. We're going to take care of this earth. We're taking over, okay? All you light workers. Not that I'm saying this, I have 8 subscribers, so there's not that many people, but I will be sending this out to some of my clients and stuff. But share it, share the news, tell it yourself or whatever, that we are here, okay? And we're in different groups, working on different projects. Some are working just behind the scenes with our vibration. Some are physically out there doing everything. Some are inventing things. Whatever you're doing, it's beautiful and it's perfect. It's perfect for you. But I encourage you, just do something, even if it's just find your peace. Find the peace and find what you'd love. What would you like to have? What's your dream in this life? Okay. I think everyone can have their dreams happen right now, but part of that is, making that happen is, what do you want? Is finding out what your dream is, right? That's a good question to ask. What would you like to have? Yeah. So there's some place to start. And I think that's all that I probably have to say. I just wanted to talk about those Aquarian planets, let you know they're right here. They're giving us new ideas, giving us new thoughts, and kind of like I think of it like refreshing us. Okay, it's refreshing. The Aquarian glyph or whatever, or it shows this. It's like the water bearer, pouring this water, pouring water over the planet. Because of course, the Aquarian energy also is the Christ energy. It's the awakening. It's the return of the Christ. What is the Christ? Christ is the teachings of brotherhood. Love your brother as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love one another, right? That's Christ's teachings. And that is what Aquarius is too. It's, I love my planet. I love my kids. I love my family. I love my friends, I love my boyfriend, or I love my husband, or my wife, or whatever. I love them so much. I want, I want for them to have a whole plan. I want them to have wholeness and to have a clean planet. I want all this darkness out of here, I want this place cleaned up. So we want for each other the love that we are wanting for ourselves. Love one another. Okay? That's what Aquarius is. It is the sign of brotherhood, and that is the return of the Christ. So, and pouring the waters, of course, waters are the emotions, the feelings, and that's another beautiful thing. I thought I was stopping. Now I'm going on and on. Oh, God. That's another beautiful thing about, oh God, what was I going to say? Oh, the emotions. Yeah, the water. Okay. The water, of course, in astrology and, rules the emotions, the feelings. Okay. There's water, fire, water, fire, air, and earth. Yeah. So the emotions are what have been so played with, okay, in the last, what I've seen is maybe the last 5 years really bad, but all along they have been. And when I say playing with our emotions, we've got a planet of people that are just stepping over people that are homeless, like, who are like, oh, well, you should have, judgy and no compassion, judging one another. All this just, to me, it's pretty horrifying. All this lack of humanity, right? Lack of brotherhood. Can you really, just watch somebody you love and watch them suffer and like, oh, well, whatever. That's really what's happening. There's just this lack of humanness. But I did see at the beginning of January, and maybe even a little before that, I started noticing that people were getting a little bit nicer. They're a little bit more, because they're awakening to that Christ within. They're awakening and starting to see like, oh, I'm going to be nice to that person because maybe they're having a hard day, I don't know what is going on with them, so I'm not going to, I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to be mean to them, and go off on them and all that stuff. And of course, there still is, we know, a lot of people that are like that, who are angry still, and blaming and all that. And so there's always probably going to be some of those. But in our own people, in our own communities and everything, I notice that people they're just connecting more in the heart level, okay? That's that water being poured over, okay? The emotions. Okay, I feel fresh and new. I'm going to be nicer, We're awakening in that arena. We're all smart. Oh my God. We know so much stuff. We know way too much. We don't even need to know a lot of the stuff because it's just garbage, really, a lot of it. We're smart, and we're good with the earth, and getting our money and all that stuff. So, and we're, so witty with our words. That's the air element, right? So we know how to talk all this stuff, but expressing emotions, talking about our feelings to someone, no. That's just, I don't know about how you grew up, but the way I grew up, I don't know. There could be like a horrible fight brewing between my parents, and it would just be silent, and you have to, and don't dare say anything, and then the ones that did speak out, you get in trouble, and so you learn from an early age just like shut up, don't express your feelings, whether they're anger or sadness or whatever, and so it's just that whole system has really been shut down for us, but that is going to change. That's changing. It's changing right now as we move into divine union with our counterparts, as we move into friendliness, and as we move into just the heart space, activating our hearts, having our hearts activated. I hope to be doing that. I hope to be doing that. I gotta get together and talk to some other people about it, but we hope to be doing it. I'm going to speak for some of my buddies, but out there activating people's hearts, because you can do that once you work on your energy and raise it up a lot. You can help people to activate their hearts, and once it's activated, oh, trust me, it's on, man. You're going to be, you'll be feeling it. So that's the big thing about this awakening of humanity too, is the love. The love. Isn't that what Jesus taught? Isn't that what the Christ taught? Love one another. Love is back. Okay? Ooh, that was fun. That was a neat, I think I'll stop on that note because it sounded kind of, it was kind of cool. Love is back. Anyways, all right. Have a great evening, and I'll catch up later in the week, and we'll talk about the approaching full moon, okay? Good night, all. Bye.